Welcome to Poplar's Workshop. I've got an exciting video planned for you today. We're going to be testing out the new xTool Air Assist, and we're going to be putting the xTool D1 Pro to a really good cut test. I'm going to be cutting all different types of material to see what type of speed and settings that we need to be able to cut through the various materials. And stick around to the end. I have a special surprise for you that you really definitely want to stick around for. So let's go ahead and get started and set up this machine. I went ahead and opened up the box to be able to see what actually comes in the xTool Air Assist. And of course, you're going to get the manual. And the nice thing about this manual, it has all the different pictures to be able to show you exactly how to assemble every step of the way. So that makes it very, very easy. Now, some of the parts, such as this, you're not going to need to attach if you have the xTool D1 Pro. But if you have the D1, then yes, you're going to need to attach the bracket for the hose itself. But there's the complete instructions on how to do everything, and it's very, very simple and step by step. Of course, you're going to have the air pump, and this does have an off and on switch right here to be able to turn the unit on and off. You have plenty of air line. You have a brand new shield that has the hole already drilled in it. And of course, you have the nozzle and the air connector for the hose that just slips right in there. And of course, this will attach right there. And of course, when you're assembling this, don't forget to put this on first. You have the necessary screws, the Allen wrenches, the air connectors, and the little bracket should you need one. So everything that you need to be able to put this together for the xTool D1 laser is here, and it's very easy. Now, the xTool D1 Pro already has this air connector in and the nozzle already put in place. All I need to be able to do is just slide this hose down and plug it in. Just like that, and it's connected, and that's not coming out. By adding a couple of twist ties to the cable, that will help manage this air hose and keep it up and out of the way. Let's put another one back here also. By adding these simple little twist ties, it makes it where it's very easy to be able to manage the hose. And in addition, if you don't want it on anymore or want to move it to a different machine, it's easy to be able to take apart and to move it. To set up the pump, very simple. You have this small little rubber hose that just slips right onto this nozzle. Now this little quick connector just plugs right into that. We're done. All we have to do is connect the hose. One of the problems that so many of the pumps have is they want to vibrate all the way across the room. And this has some very nice feet on it that's going to prevent that. Any type of vibration is going to be absorbed with these little feet. So this is a great feature. So it's not going to go anywhere. Plug in the hose and we'll plug in the unit and test it out. These air connectors are fantastic. All you literally need to do is just push it in, and it has the little teeth in there that grabs hold to the hose and keeps it in place. So you can see the setup of this is extremely simple when you have the D1 Pro with all the parts already attached. All that's left to do is plug it in and turn it on. Let's see how loud it is and how it performs. That is really quiet, and there's really very little vibration to speak of. And this is not with me adjusting the volume at all. This is how loud it is, which not very loud at all. So the first test, I have just a piece of 3mm plywood. Now this piece of plywood is a little bit bowed, so I'm using my little hold down pins to be able to keep it in place. So the height is adjusted. We'll pull this up. For this simple test, all I'm going to do is just create a circle come right over here to this circle icon, hold down the shift key, and I'm just going to draw out a circle. The size of this circle, I'm going to put it at 1 inch, just for the reason of it's simple and it's easy. So let's bring this up so that you can see it. Don't need it that big. I am going to put it on the red layer. This is the layer that I normally use to cut, but it doesn't really matter. You can use this on any layer that you wish. So this is the circle that we're going to cut. I'm going to use the current position. I have not homed this machine. Cut settings. I have not tried to cut anything with this laser, and we're going to put this at 100 inches per minute. And that will give me a starting point. Let's see what happens. Do this at 1 pass. We'll see the results with that. Next, I'm going to frame it just to make sure this is where I want it to be. That's good. That basically puts half the circle on the wood, half the circle off of the wood. All that's left to do is to grab the glasses and hit start. Now I started the cutout of this circle. Also, I'm running this first quarter of the circle without the air assist. I want to make sure we go about a quarter of the way around, and then I'm going to turn the air assist on, and you'll be able to see exactly the before and after with and without the air assist. It doesn't do any good to show you over the open space. I just want to show this during the cutting over the wood itself, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. If you heard that little bell warning, that's actually a heat warning, and it basically indicates that the flame was detected or that it was too hot. Now with this first test, you can see right here, this portion was without the air assist, and it charred it significantly. And then when I turned the air assist on, it cleaned it up quite a bit. The difference is, though, it was running way too slow. Now if I flip this over, you're going to see a big difference right here. Look at all the charring and burning. Way too slow of a speed with this laser. So after doing this first test at the 100 inches per minute, I went ahead and started moving up into higher speeds. I tried the 150, 200, 300, and then I flipped over and went 4, 5, and 600, and found that the 600 inches per minute with the 100% power, 1 pass, worked really the best. Very clean, very nice. Could have gone up a little bit higher? Perhaps so, but that shows you just what it can do. The cutout pieces were very clean and nice. I have no complaints with how this turned out. So for this test with a 3mm plywood, I'm stopping at the 600 inches per minute with 100% power and 1 pass. I think that is producing some outstanding results. Now granted, I could do a test grid, but what's the fun of that? Let's just have a little fun with this and see what we can do. And the best setting to cut this 3mm plywood was at 600 inches per minute with 100% power, and that is 1 pass. So I set up a separate category in the library so that I can have the D1 Pro with that plywood setting. So anytime that I need that, I can just go to the library and pull this out and put it into the particular layer so that I can engrave it. The next test is going to be a lot harder. This is actual 5mm underlayment that you can get from the big box stores. It has multiple layers, so you're going to have the glue situation to deal with. And this is not your hobby type plywood. And this is measuring about 4.87, but is classified as the 5mm. Let's try out this and see how it cuts. First thing, let's adjust the height. I don't need the little pins on this one. This is actually sitting real flat. So we'll get these out of the way. We'll bring this down to right about here. The settings I'm using is 300 inches per minute, 100% power with the 1 pass. Frame it. and hit start. Perfect cut at 300 inches per minute. I changed the setting to 500 inches per minute. 100% power, one pass. We'll frame it and hit start. Almost cut all the way through, so that didn't quite work. So this didn't quite cut through at the 500 inches per minute. We leave in a little spot. We're going to drop down to 400 inches per minute. So 400 inches per minute. Popped out perfect. Beautiful on each side. So I like 400 inches per minute. That is just beautiful. Maybe this will be a little bit more challenging. This is a piece of poplar. And this one is 7.5 millimeters thick. Let's see how this works. We'll start off at the 400 inches per minute. As we move up to thicker and thicker material, we need to take in consideration this adjustment right here. Currently, this is the index point and it's set at 0. And for the thinner material, that's what you want. As we move up to the thicker material, we need to adjust this focal height. Because this material that we're getting ready to cut is almost at the 8 millimeter, the setting needs to be at the 4. With everything set, I'm now going to do my test with this 7.5 millimeter material. And I'm going to start out with 200 inches per minute and 100% power. And let's see how that goes. We'll frame this. And we'll hit start. Look at that beautiful, beautiful cut. That is absolutely perfect. But I think we can actually do better. Let's do another test and increase the speed. At 300 inches per minute, look at the results. This is absolutely fantastic. But let's do one more test. So we've done the 200, 300, let's jump it up another notch. At 400 inches per minute, it left two little spots that it did not quite cut through. Other than that, it looked fantastic. It's beautiful on the surface, but I did want it to go completely all the way through. So 400 inches per minute is going to be just a little bit too much. What do you think? You think we can do one more test? And let's try 350 inches per minute. .350 inches per minute, 100% power, one pass. Now this is a piece of 1/8 inch masonite. So this is a very hard material. It has the texture on the back. And this typically is rather difficult to be able to cut all the way through. And I have this set at 350 inches per minute. and that easily cut through it. We're going to move this up to 500 inches per minute. Okay, at 500 inches per minute, no, it did not cut. The next item I want to try is medium density fiberboard. Now this is basically sawdust and glue, and that's it. And this piece is almost 7 millimeters thick. So we're going to make the adjustment on the laser again for the 7 millimeters. And we're going to see if medium density fiberboard will cut. I adjusted this again to the 4. I'll bring this over. There's the height adjustment there. We'll park it. Put that right there. And because this material is extremely hard, I'm going to start out at 300 inches per minute at the 100% power, 1 pass. Next is to frame it. And we'll hit start. That did not cut all the way through. It did cut clean on this side. You can see it almost made it, but not quite. Pretty impressive. So what would happen if we set this at the 300 inches per minute and 2 passes? We have not tried that today. We know that 300 inches per minute did not work. So let's just step this up to 300 inches per minute with the 2 passes, and let's see how that goes. So we'll frame this, and we'll hit start. Beautiful. And that looks good. Now this test was an awful lot of fun to do. And here are the results. With the 3 millimeter plywood, 600 inches per minute, 100% power with 1 pass. That worked great. And that 7.5 millimeter plywood, which is basically an underlayment, 400 inches per minute, 100% power, 1 pass, did great. The masonite, which I wasn't sure if it was going to be able to cut, 400 inches per minute with the 1 pass. And the MDF, which was even, in my opinion, something that was harder, that I'm not sure if it was going to cut at all. And it did at 300 inches per minute with 100% power with 2 passes. And that's not bad at all. The poplar for the solid wood, 350 inches per minute, 100% power with the 1 pass. This was a fun test to be able to do, and there's a lot more materials out there that I can be testing in the near future. But this was a lot of fun. I said at the beginning of the video, I had a special announcement. Well, it's that time. What I have been able to secure with the xTool Corporation is to be able to have them sponsor a giveaway. Now this started at July 22nd at midnight Pacific Daylight Time, and it will run through August 5th at 11:59 Pacific Daylight Time. Here's how you're going to be able to enter. First, this giveaway is sponsored strictly by the xTool folks, and you can purchase any of your favorite products with that link. Whatever it happens to be, whether it's the lasers, the air assist, any materials, whatever you want to purchase, you can purchase it using that link. And then the xTool folks will be choosing 1 person. Now 1 person will be picked randomly to be fully refunded for whatever he or she had purchased. And of course, you get to keep the product. Now they're going to choose that. I'm not going to have anything to do with choosing this. So the folks at xTool will be choosing this person at random and announce them right here in another video after August 5th, right here on this channel. I hope you take this opportunity to participate in this giveaway and be able to purchase the different items that you wish from the xTool. And don't forget, use that link down in the description. I look forward to seeing you guys in future videos where I'm going to continue to do different tests with the xTool D1 Pro. This is a fantastic, fantastic machine.